Thank you for tuning in today on Awaken and Ascend. I am Jennifer Regular, your host, and welcoming you into a conversation with a phenomenal woman about her new book, Healing Millions. And this has truly become her mission as well. As we know, speakers and authors tend to be messengers as well. And Nina Maglic grew up in a war-torn Bosnia and went on to build a successful life in the corporate world, leading global campaigns with major brands across Europe. Today, she helps women remember who they really are and create lives and businesses that are led by intuition, feminine energy, and purpose. We're going to reconnect with that feminine energy today in our life and business. And to all the healers out there that are feeling called to make a bigger impact, touching millions of hearts so that we can all work together to elevate humanity. Thank you, Nina, so much for being here. This is so exciting. And I understand you're living in Vienna, Bosnia right now. And I'm over all the way in the west coast of Canada and BC. And I love that we can come together in this way. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction. I'm so honored to be on your podcast. Thank you so much for giving me this space to talk about healing millions. And everybody who's watching and listening, hello, welcome. It's going to be such an amazing interview.
Yes, it is. It is. And I love this path that we all seem to be walking whenever I bring a guest in the show, myself included, how we shifted from that career or the corporate world into our calling, that we followed and honored that call. And it wasn't always easy, a little bit scary, but we can gather that courage and really rise into our calling when we have people like you and I and those around us to support us and create the right kind of environment to keep that vibe up. We were just sharing, everyone, in the beginning here before we hit the record button, that Nina and I are really picking up on the spirit and the energy and the aliveness that came together, even though her and I have never met before. And so this is the magic that can happen. And Nina, I'm really curious about how you made that shift from the corporate world into feminine-led businesses.
Oh my God, it was scary. I have to be very honest. It was
Uh-huh.
not easy. So, before I became an energy healer, I was working in marketing, doing marketing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies across Europe. And then I got really sick and I was just looking for a solution for my pain. And like I started practicing with people all around the world and people got results and all of a sudden they started recommending me to their friends and family members. And without even realizing, I was booked weeks in advance and I was like, oh, this is not a hobby anymore. This is a real business. So I had to announce this to the world that I'm a healer now because nobody on social media knew what I was doing. I was like an undercover healer. Only my healer community knew what I'm doing, but nobody on social media knew that. And it was really, really scary to post, especially on LinkedIn, that I'm a healer now. And I remember one of my clients called me out and said, like, how can you help somebody if you have so much fear being visible online? And she was right. And she was so right. So I took a lot of courage to post on LinkedIn that I'm a healer, I have a business, because I was so scared what my clients are going to say, what my colleagues are going to say. There's so much fear going on in that moment. And the moment I posted on social media, especially on LinkedIn, um, I received positive comments, but something really magical happened. I received a card from one of my first bosses. She was my master thesis mentor. She was also dean at university. She wrote me a beautiful card and she said, "It looks like you found your calling. What can you wish for more?" Oh God, I cried like a little baby because I realized the only person standing in my way was me. If I want to build a business that is going to touch millions of hearts, I need to overcome my fears, my own doubts, my own limiting beliefs so I can be able to help others. And this is really, I always say the entrepreneurial journey is the fastest self-development journey you will ever be on. And
So
you
true.
need to really work on yourself every single day. And, that's the thing. And there's something that I did when I was a teenager. I always wanted to have my own company. I wanted to always to have an advertising agency, and I have it now to help healers. But when I was 16 years old, I wrote in my like journal, I want to have a company that not only makes income, but makes an impact. That was my
Yes.
wish. I
At
just want to have a
16.
company to
Mhm.
to make an impact. And to be honest, like taking money for healing was the hardest thing for me to do because we are taught not to take money to help friends, not take money to help other people. So I still remember when my client gave me money for the first ever paid session. We discussed 10 minutes on the call. 10 minutes. She was trying to convince me to pay me. And I said, okay, I will take her money. And I took her money and donated fully to feed 100 kids in an
Wow.
orphanage in Bosnia.
Mhm.
And that changed my whole life. I said,
Mhm.
like, when money is in good hands, we can do so much good for this world. And this is how everything really started and shifted.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're meant to live well and prosper on all levels of our being and our doing and our having. And we need to have that money to be able to do the kind of work and service and impact that we want to have in people's lives and use that energy to flow in that way. And like you say, truly be in alignment with our natural gifts and abilities to support our life path, to illuminate that path for others as well by being an inspiring role model to really rise up into our calling. And so, how did you come to write your book?
I think the book was really um, the whole download. I believe is I got inspiration to share this with the whole world because there's so many things happening, and I see really amazing heart-centered healers, gifted healers giving up on their dreams. And I really wanted to give back to them because without them, I would not be here. When I
Mm,
was sick, when traditional medicine couldn't help me, an energy healer from LA helped me become pain-free, and that changed my whole life. And
mm,
I know how powerful this work is. So my biggest mission was I just want to teach them how to do it because for me it was easier than for others because I already had marketing and business background. But for so many healers, they are still struggling, not because they are not working hard, but because nobody taught them how to do things right, in which order. And that's it. And
mm.
I really wanted to share my journey, what helped me, what helps my clients, so they can go and implement in their businesses, so we together can heal millions. That was the whole mission. This is the movement. This is really not about book. I really wanted to start movement of healing millions. I help you, you help me, and we all help humanity. That's the whole mission.
Yes, and we elevate in that reciprocity and putting things in order, coming to alignment is what creates that deep connection. And we really feel that, and we become a common humanity. And this is how we can elevate together and really collectively transform. I wrote about this too, Nina, in The Ultimate Guide to Leaving Your Legacy, where I wrote about leading with passion and lighting the path to profound impact and collective transformation. And it was really in a journey through my darkest times and, like you say, overcoming that fear, overriding the fear and trusting in our path and honoring our sacred responsibility for being here at this time. And what came to me when I was at the lowest of the low and didn't see a vision for my life anymore, and as a visionary, not having a vision for your life is like you don't even exist. And I didn't want my life to end that way. And so what I discovered is I had this energy spark and it just jolted me up in bed. And it revealed to me that when you break up the word passion, it's pass I on. And that I is your soul's expression of what you're here to pass on in this lifetime. And that's our mission. And the soul, if you look at it as an acronym, is sending out universal love. And I love that with every guest on the show, there's a unique way of sending out that universal love and touching the hearts of millions. And so, how do you get this into people's hands, Nina? It's not just like creating the book, right? There's a whole launch that
There's a
needs to
whole system
happen, letting
around that.
people know about it. And so, how do you get through those hurdles? Because there's a lot of healers, as you say, that don't accept money, but they also don't like to sell. Right? Yeah.
So I really just want to say, everybody who is starting or doing this business, the fastest way to connect with people, share your own story and share your own
Mm-hmm.
struggles. That's the first step to connect with people. Because without connection, you cannot do anything for them. They first need to trust you, and they trust you by sharing your story. They say, I was a human too. I struggled. I wasn't perfect. It was far away from perfect. I stumbled, I cried, I hit my rock bottom, but you know what? But I'm different now. I was able to help myself. Let me help you. That's the first step, really, to start with that. Be who you are. And your uniqueness is really your superpower. This is what is going to help you stand in the sea of like healers, because nobody has a story as you do. Nobody has experience as you do. Like nobody went through the pain you did. And your unique skills, your unique gifts are given to you to help humanity. And if the God, the universe believed in you, why should you ever doubt yourself? Why should you
Mm-hmm.
ever doubt yourself? Because the God has much bigger picture than we have. And it gave you these gifts, this vision for a reason, because it believed in you. And it really starts with embracing who you are. And sometimes people say like it's going to be hard for me because I had my corporate career. I understand it. I had it too. I had that issue too. But the moment I embraced the whole me, everything changed. Because I always thought I cannot be marketer. I cannot like marketing and healing have nothing to do with each other. And I was wrong because they do have. Because I cannot help anybody if nobody knows about me. I cannot really change anybody's life because nobody knows that I exist. I can be the best healer in the world, but if nobody knows about me, nothing really matters. So it really starts with that, owning who you are, embracing your unique story, sharing your gifts with the world, and getting really clear on what do you want, how you want your business to be, who you want to serve, how you want to serve them. Because this is what I notice is happening over and over again. People try to build businesses according to someone else's dreams, what their friend told them to do, what their coach told them to do, what other people told them to do, what some people on the internet told them to do. But they never ask themselves, like, what do I want? How I want my business to be, how I want my life to be, and who do I want to serve and how. And that gives you so much clarity. It saves you so much time. It saves you so much energy because when you know what you want, you can remove any other options because you just have one path to do this and really express yourself fully. The next thing is really creating an offer that serves your clients the best way. I always say when people have a trauma and have a lot of pain, people are actively looking for a solution to their pain. Nobody wants to live in pain and trauma. Nobody wants to cry. Nobody wants to be desperate. People want to be happy. But we just don't know how because nobody taught us how to do it. We learn so many things in school, but we never learn how to help ourselves, how to deal with our emotions. And that's the hardest thing. That's why people need you, that need your skills and your talents to help them go through. Because when people heal, all these emotions are coming up and they don't know how to deal with that. On top of that, they have challenges with their families, co-workers, friends. There's so much going on in their life. What the healer needs to do is holding their hands as they go through the whole process and sharing their tools and expertise with others and helping clients get the best possible experience, best possible support to heal. And so many healers feel afraid of selling. They think it's something bad, it's something evil, but selling is helping your clients solve the biggest problems they're praying and hoping to get solved. It's an act of service and help. It is really just an act of service and help. And because people who have a pain, they're actively looking for a solution to the pain. And if you have solution to the pain, it is just perfect match in the universe. It is because nobody is going to buy something from you just because you told them to do. They will buy it because they need solution, they need results. And that's why they will buy it. And this is how it works. It's really paying close attention to clients, doing something you really love and you're passionate about, and doing it your way. Because so many people choose strategy that they don't like it doesn't align with their values, and it's not right for their stage of business. And if you have that combination, it's really hard to do business because if you hate strategy that you're using, you will not even show up to do it. If you choose strategy that doesn't align with your values,
Hmm.
you will not do it. You will sabotage everything. So choose strategy that works for you, that is aligned with your values, and that is right for the right stage of your business.
I think that is so important to have that alignment. And I love that you demonstrate how authenticity is your superpower. And I find for visionaries in particular, it's your energy and passion that creates the biggest impact. And so this is what people are feeling, not so much about what you say or do, but it's your presence that awakens that remembrance and your voice activating the truth. And your style of leadership, the way that you live and lead your life and your mission is what helps others create that alignment between their highest self and their sacred legacy. And you mentioned earlier about you're different now. And I honestly believe that there's just different parts of us that are waking up, that are
Mm.
rising up to the surface, that little nudge. It's like, hey, there's something more. There's more parts of us down here that want to express themselves too. And so we get to discover that and really embrace that power to explore other parts of ourselves and really discover also our highest contribution that we can make, because that's where our potency is. Yes, we gain a lot of skills and abilities throughout our careers and working for others. And some of those are transferable, but it's when we combine that with our gifts and truly be ourselves that we can have the actual kind of impact and transformation that we see as possible and that we can show others how possible it is too. So I'm curious, Nina, how you went from a corporate world, which is quite masculine, into the feminine. So going back again, just to examine that thread a little bit. How did you move into what you call like a feminine-led business, the feminine energy in life and business? How do we begin to start embracing that and find comfort and growth through that?
Yeah, this is my definition of feminine leadership. We put people before profit.
Ah,
And
mm-hmm,
that's for me the number one thing. We care about people. And when we get on a sales call, yes, maybe people will buy from us. Maybe people will not buy from us, but it doesn't mean they will never buy from us. And
mm-hmm,
it's okay, that's their journey and that's okay. What I really love, and I really tell people inside my membership Healing Minutes, we work on a business, but we also have healing sessions and mindset work.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I think that's so important, that's so vital that we have that in our daily life so we can have a business that makes us happy. And what I mean by that, yes, our fears are going to come up, our doubts are going to come up, limiting beliefs, everything. But the most importantly is tuning in every single day and asking ourselves, what do I want to do today? What would make me happy today? What is the most important thing for me to do to be happy in that moment? We don't have basically to
mm-hmm,
have to do hard work to be happy. We can choose to be happy. But what I really mean is choosing aligned actions that align with our goals, with our visions, with our values, even if people do not understand what we're doing. Sometimes people have prejudice what we are doing and it's not the right type of leadership. But I always believe that tuning in what really clients need and what make us happy is the best solution to do the work and really combine everything, serving our clients at the highest level by providing things that they need at that moment and also at the same time choosing the work that makes us happy and doing it. And I also love to do this. This is what I noticed. Like, yes, we heal. It's important that we heal, but it's also important that we expand our
mm-hmm,
energy so we can receive
mm-hmm.
more. And it's really just sending love and blessings to the people in the world. And, you know, j- the more we do it, the more we expand our energy, the more we receive, and the more people want to connect with us and do the work with us.
Oh, Nina, that is so true. That is so true, and such an important point to make, and a really important question to ask ourselves. What would make you happy? What would make me happy? And do that every single day. So it becomes a really good habit and a practice to ensure that you're feeding and nourishing your spirit, your energy, your passion, and continuing to have that impact both in your life and all those around you and all the millions of hearts that you're going to touch. So you have a membership that's available for people. And of course, we're going to have a link for that below. I'm curious what people have been saying about your book.
Oh, they love it. They really, really love it. The most important thing that I learned from that book is that it can be applied in any business, in 80% of businesses and industries, because the way how I structured it, it can be applied in any other industry. That's the number one thing. The next thing what people said to me, like, I wanted to give up. Your book gave me hopes back. And that's something that I really, really love. The next thing what I got from people is it's like a gentle kick ass. You cannot ask gently because I was making so many excuses not to do this work and hiding
Mm.
myself and pretending I'm not ready, doing another healing course, another healing course, another healing course, thinking I'm not good enough to do this work. And you knock down all my like excuses. And what like, but because the first part of the book is really just preparing you, working on your mindset to help you succeed.
Ah,
It's really
that's
all about that
mhm.
because I truly believe in order to succeed, you need to have three components. You need to have the right mindset because 80% of your success is mindset, believing in what you do.
Hmm.
Then you have to have a good strategy that works for you. And the third thing is you need to be surrounded by people who believe in you, who support you. Because if you don't have one of these things, it's going to be hard to build a business because you can have the best strategy, the best mindset if you're in the wrong environment. The environment is going to kill your business and it's going to kill your passion and what you do. Think about
Mhm.
that think about that like having a cactus. Cactus thrives in desert. By put cactus in a rainy environment, it's going to die. And the
Hmm.
same is with your passion. Your passion and the work you do can really blossom in the right environment, but it can be killed by the environment if it's in wrong environment.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. I love what people are saying, and I'm really grateful that you have this book out here, Nina. So thank you so much for the courage to do it and to share it and to speak about it and let more and more people know. So I would invite the audience to do that as well. If you like this video, if you want to share these insights, these tips, these books, these stories with others, then make sure you share this video. And we'll have the links down below too, so you can access these resources and Nina's website and see how you may wish to work with her, find out more about her. Of course, we'll have her full bio down there so you can learn a little bit more that way too. And Nina, I understand you have some great tips for people too that you're offering.
Yes, actually, I have a free training. I have a section free training on my website. Every single week, I publish a video teaching people about business, about mindset, about community, how they can succeed as a healers. I have free resources there. And I share every single week, I share tips how to succeed. And you know, if I may give you a tip, is just surround yourself by people who believe in you. Everything
Hmm.
else is going to be figure outable. You will find your way out. You will get the right mindset from people around you, and you will choose the strategy that works for you if you're surrounded with the right people who want you to succeed, who want to help you build something amazing. And
Absolutely.
I just want to say, like, for everybody who is watching or listening and thinking, can I really do this? I would just say, yes, you can do it.
Mm.
And you don't need anybody's permission to do this work. These gifts are given to you for a reason. So use them, share them with the
Mm.
world because the world needs that love and light inside of you more than ever.
Mm. Nina, thank you so much for that and for showing up today for us. And you're right, that environment, the people really makes a difference and helps with that alignment and the support. And that's why I created the Leadership Ascension Alliance and the Visionary Leadership Council. And wow, it's amazing what can come through when you connect with yourself and with others in this way. And so there's links to that below too. So definitely check out the video description. Lots of amazing resources available to you there. And, it sounds like, you share basically almost all we need to know to get started. But I wonder if there is anything else that's coming up for you, that's coming through spirit, that's coming through your heart right now that you want to close this out with.
Yes. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity. Thank you so much for the work you do because you're doing an amazing work for this humanity. And thank you so much for that. And I just want to encourage everybody to connect. And you can write me an email. I always respond to emails. So you can leave a comments. I love reading comments. I love listening to people because I'm doing this for you. I already know how to build business. I'm sharing these tips for you because I want you to succeed. I want you to do the work you love because there's nothing more beautiful than when you watch the spark of joy in people's eyes, when you watch them blossom and do amazing things for this world. Oh my God, it makes my heart happy. And I had an amazing mom. She was mom of three kids. I met her on my vacation. She had to leave kids in another country and go to work in another country to provide for the kids. When I met her, she never believed she could have a business. She said, she was a tarot reader. She gave me a reading. It was incredible. I said, wow,
Mm.
why don't you do this as a business? And she said to me, this is just hobby for friends and, family, nothing special. So I encouraged her to start a business. And for the first time in 4 years, she is able to stay at home with the kids, work from home, and provide for the kids, for the family. That changed everything.
Yeah.
For the first time, kids have a mother and she's
Mhm.
present in their life. And
Hmm.
this is why this work you do is so important because it changes not only your life, your clients' lives, it changes your family, it changes society. And that's why you need to do this work. And I really encourage you follow your dreams, follow your passion, and do the work you love because you can.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nina. And thank you to each and every one of you that have been tuning in to Awaken and Ascend. Check out more on the playlist and join us next week. And we're here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Bye for now.